in a true Muslim society where Muslims are practicing real Islam with Islamic State, you have a much, much better overall community than you do anywhere else. And that's for Muslims and non-Muslims alike. It's just a safer place and a better place. I'm going to end it now by telling you what happened with one person. Not that he was harsh at all. He was a lovely person. But I was reminded just now of something that happened with him. He was in the hospital, and the one taking care of him happened to be a Muslim who was a med student and was taking care of this man along with other patients. And the man became interested and fascinated talking to him. Every time I saw him, I asked him about Islam, something else about Islam. So I happened to be visiting there in UK. It was in England. And they asked me if I would go and see this man, just talk to him for a few minutes. So I went to see him. He was a very nice man. He used to drive a truck. In fact, right here in Australia is where he was from. And he's old, but he liked to talk about the old days, what he used to do. And I asked him, because he kept talking about Australia and relatives that he had here. So just one time I just said to him, well, what's your favorite country? I knew he was going to say Australia, no doubt. He said Saudi Arabia. I said, huh? You've been in Saudi Arabia? He said, oh yeah, I used to drive a truck from here to there to Europe, from this and that. So he had literally driven everywhere. But he said, of all the places I ever went, I never felt more safe, secure, or at ease than in Saudi Arabia. I still didn't get it. I know how I feel when I go to Medina, but I know he didn't go to Medina because they don't going to let him in. Not there. So what is he talking about? He said, you know, I used to park my rig. That's what he calls his truck and trailer, you know. He said, I used to park my rig. I could leave the keys in it and go over and have a cup of coffee, talk to people, and I could come back. I knew it was going to be just like it was. Nobody's going to touch it. He said, they're Muslims. They won't do it. He said, Muslims there who are conscious of their way, best people. That's what he said. And it wasn't the heat that he liked. Don't get me wrong. He was talking about the people. Because that was our subject, talking about people. I said, what do you like best? He said, Saudi Arabia. So I said to him, you know, I'm going to teach you something. And it was what I heard when I came in here. You were given Shahada. It was beautiful. Because I told him, this is the Shahada. You say this like this, you know. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah. What it means, I bear witness there's none to worship except Allah. I bear witness Muhammad's his messenger. He smiled at me and he said, that's all it takes? I said, that'll get you started. He said, I say it every morning when I wake up and I say it every night before I go to bed. I almost fell over. And when we were on our way back, the brother was driving. He said, how come you didn't give him Shahada? I said, that brother could give me Shahada. Well, this is not about a formal piece of paper, you know. He already has it. He already believes it. We'd talked several times about the subject. I thought he needed to make Shahada. I didn't know he's saying it all the time. And he said it while I was sitting there. He said, you don't need to jump up and shake my hand and go there. No, he said it. That's it. SubhanAllah.